All right. Welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. We're going to Bellator 235, aka Bellator Salute the Troops. We're going to the flyweight division. Veta Arteaga coming in 5-3, taking on Alejandra Lara coming in at 8-3. And, when I getting into this, almost right away, these two were started going at it, and you could see probably within the first minute of the fight just the massive improvements that Lara had made to her game. She was using her footwork a lot better. She wasn't just dancing around. She was actually using effective footwork, landing the jabs, using her kicks to keep the distance better, landing the overhand. She landed her left hand pretty much whenever she wanted. And the biggest thing I noticed with Arteaga was that she was just seemed to be having a hard time dealing with a southpaw fighter. I'm not sure if that's the first time she's ever fought a southpaw, but that did seem to be something that I noticed a lot, that Arteaga had a hard time dealing with it. Partway through the first, Arteaga slipped, and Lara took advantage and, tried to keep her on the ground but couldn't. And then once they got back up, they were still in a clinch, and Lara just started throwing elbows. I mean, like, just crazy elbow combinations in the clinch. And that was pretty much the story. Anytime they got into the clinch in this fight, Lara would just start throwing elbows. And this was a big improvement I saw, and the commentators noted it as well. When she would break off from the clinch, she'd do it with strikes. She wouldn't just create distance. So another big improvement Lara made. And you know what? I got to give hats off to Veta Arteaga. This might be the single toughest chick in Bellator's flyweight division. I mean, my hats are off to her. She never gave up. She never stopped backing down. She just kept going. And in the second round, Lara landed a big, I think it was the left high kick, knocked Arteaga down. I mean, hard. And Arteaga got back up, and Lara went in, and I thought she made a mistake in clinching with her because it allowed Arteaga to recover just a little bit, just enough, and then they were clinching some more, and they broke off, and Lara landed some more hard shots, but Arteaga was able to take them and give back some of her own. I do remember at one point, I think it might have been later in the third, but it might have also been in the second when Arteaga actually had Lara backing up for once with the strike. She was just coming forward, throwing the combos, and Arteaga was backing up and, ducking and bobbing, weaving, trying to avoid them all as hard as she could. I thought that had Lara just, worked her angles, she'd have been able to avoid it a lot faster. And then in the third round, man, let me tell you, this got ruthless in the third round. With a little over a minute left, Lara landed some more elbow combinations, and the clinch opened up a nasty cut on Arteaga's forehead. And I'm not sure if that's the same spot where Elimele McFarlane opened it up on Arteaga back in, I think it was back in the summer. But, I mean, Arteaga just started bleeding like crazy. Her face, I mean, she was wearing the crimson mask. And, good on the referee Jason Herzog letting the fight go on to the end. It went to the buzzer. I mean, Arteaga was just a bloody mess with just over a minute left. But that was when she started bleeding. Just a little over a minute left in the fight. She started bleeding like crazy, and by the end, she was wearing that crimson mask. It was, well, if you're a Just Bleed fan, it was a beautiful sight. So it went to the judges, and all three saw it for your winner, Elimele McFarlane. And what was honestly going into the fight, it was the one I was the least sure about. But man, Lara proved. I was glad I picked Lara for this one. All right, so things to work on for our Lara. I thought she got involved in some unnecessary clinch work in this fight. Granted, she got to show off her elbows in the clinch and her ability to break off the clinch with striking, but there was a couple times in the fight, particularly in the second round after the knockdown, that I thought she could have possibly put Arteaga away had she not clinched with her. So she needs to work on, knowing when to clinch, when not to clinch, when to avoid it. And for Arteaga, she just seemed like she was unable to handle the southpaw footwork and striking of Lara. So, excuse me. Ooh. Excuse me. She should try to bring in a southpaw training partner, even just if it's just part time. That way, she's at least a little more used to dealing with a southpaw fighter. Now, as for matches to make, so let's talk about Veta Arteaga. She is now 0-2 in her last two. She was coming off a failed title bid over Ilima McFarlane. That was back in... When was that? That was back in April, so that was a while ago. So she's now 0-2. She needs a partner she can recover, dance partner she can try to get a win back against. I'd like to see her against either Christina Williams, who is coming off a loss herself to Juliana Velasquez, or I'd like to see her matched up with Valerie Letourneau. Letourneau hasn't fought since last December in a bid against, unfailed bid against Ilima McFarlane. I believe that's the last time Letourneau fought. Not 100% on that. Anyway, as for Lara, she now has 2 wins in a row. The first fight was like a bounce back fight, a tune-up fight against that Taylor Turner. This one was a really nice win against, Arteaga might not be the best in the division, but she's tough. And I thought Lara did really well in she just straight up outclassed her in this fight. I'd like to see Lara take on Kate Jackson, who is just coming off the loss this weekend to Ilima McFarlane. If Lara can get past Kate Jackson, then I think then she'll earn another title shot. So 2 former title fighter challengers going against each other. And if Lara gets it, then she'll have definitely earned another shot at the title. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the fight. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Likes always appreciated. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next time.